Just because you were born a Muslim, Arab, you don't have to treat animals as if they're objects. You don't have to abuse them. You don't have to use them in dog fights. You don't have to treat women as subhuman. And you definitely don't have to tell your children that they have to go out and kill Jews. Just because you were born a Muslim, Arab doesn't mean you have to follow blindly a religion of hate. Just because you were born an Arab Muslim doesn't mean you have to die an Arab Muslim. We all have choices of what to follow. And if Islam doesn't condemn violence, if there's mass celebrations when people are being killed, maybe it's the wrong choice. I don't know, because I can't even imagine not condemning acts of violence against innocent people and animals. I can't imagine it. But I know there are kind and unkind people among all groups. It's just that it seems to me among Arab Muslims, there's quite a high percentage of animal abusers, dog abusers. You just ask people who rescue dogs and they're all from Arab villages. They're all from Palestinian territories where they're being found in horrific situations, where they have to be sewn up, where their ears were torn from dog fights and they were burned by acid and they were kicked like a football. And not to mention human beings that are marginalized, like women, LGBT. And yet, there's no condemnation from their political representatives. The Israeli Arabs do not condemn openly acts of violence against anyone. And silence is a statement too. Silent means that you agree. As long as you don't speak out, you agree. As long as you don't speak out against abuse of animals, abuse of people, and terror acts against people, you are part of the problem. And I just really wonder why in the world people follow ideologies that speak of hate towards other people. Why in the world would you want to be part of an ideology that doesn't respect animals, doesn't respect people? And I'm talking about all religions, by the way, but specifically I'm talking about the religion that decided that all the holy places in the world belong to them. I don't know why they don't go to Rome and claim that too. Why in the world would any religion have several centers and not just one? Why in the world would any religion celebrate deaths and murders? Why would anyone treat animals as objects, treat animals as if they're something to kick about, to torture, to abuse, and not see their pain? When those people were shooting dogs and laughing and uploading those videos on social media, how they're laughing as the dogs lay dying and tortured and crying of pain, when those people didn't have anyone in the community speaking out, any religious leader telling them that they're wrong, that it's not right to abuse animals, then of course they're going to abuse people. Because what's the difference really? And the answer is there is no difference. If you abuse animals, you're going to abuse people. And there's no difference between it being totally wrong, unjust, ugly, and despicable. I'm disgusted by the way animals are treated in the Palestinian territories in the Arab world. I'm disgusted the way they always present themselves as victims when they victimize animals and they teach their kids to hate. And when I say they, I'm generalizing, because there is no Arab Palestinian leader that stands up and says, this is wrong. This is wrong. You shouldn't preach for hate. In fact, in the mosques, they preach that we should kill Jews, that you should target them. It's okay to work and get money for work, but you can kill those same people. I don't understand how they can just expect to go to work in Israel and then not speak out against terror done to people that give them the jobs, that employ them. I don't get that discrepancy. And they just will never speak out because it's part of the groupthink. That's what I think. In Iran, people are waking up, but I don't see the waking up of Palestinian people or Israeli Arabs. To send a 13-year-old boy and tell him to shoot Jews in Jerusalem like they did this morning, to send a 21-year-old who was posting on Facebook at a time when you should be thinking about finding love, focusing on work, studying, whatever, sports, whatever makes a 21-year-old happy is focused on killing Jews. I mean, that comes from somewhere. And I don't hear any condemnations from any political leader. It's okay to get money from the Israeli parliament, but they don't do anything to stop the violence. And why would they want their children to grow up to be violent thugs? Why would they want their children not to have a future? What do they really expect? They will just accept it? So we rescue the animals they abuse, and we have to pick up the pieces of what they shatter. And it's really getting to be too much to just watch this horrible reality take place and just not say anything. And meanwhile, all these transgender videos get millions of views, people talking about their diets, but people just really don't care to talk about the fact the terrorists just can do whatever they want in the Middle East, and the media will just say, oh, they're Palestinians, they're victims. Well, people who abuse animals are not victims. The animals are the victims, and people who shoot Jews are also not victims. They are the abusers, and it's time to not mix those up. Social media, media in general, human beings, whatever. It's just completely mixed up. And it's time to stop mixing up the abuser and the abused. And it's time to stop being abused. We don't want to be abused anymore. Dogs, people, we don't want to be labeled and abused just because we belong to a certain group. We just want to live and enjoy our one short life on earth.